All right, the Russian hacking has gone way too far this time. I sat back when Russian hackers took away the oil pipeline. I slept as Russian hackers wreaked havoc with online trolling through Facebook, redefining how elections are won, but going after meat suppliers with ransomware attacks and turning people into vegetarians. That's taking it too far. But that's exactly what has happened. JBS, one of the largest meat suppliers on the planet, an international organization that is responsible for so many successful barbecues every year, is facing partial shutdowns after a recent cyber attack. So we have some press releases on their official website, which is back up now. It was down for a little while over the weekend. I don't know if there was like a DDoS that went with it as well, or if it was just from them taking their servers offline, because of course that's what they did to try to stop the spread of the ransomware. So we can see all news for the press releases. There are, I believe, 3 of them. Yeah, so May 31st is when we have the first one. They did this on Memorial Day. Can you believe the audacity of them? So on Sunday, May 30th, JBS USA determined that it was the target of an organized cybersecurity attack affecting some of the servers supporting its North American and Australian IT systems. The company took immediate action, suspending all affected systems, notifying authorities, and activating the company's global network of IT professionals and third-party experts to resolve the situation. The company's backup servers were not affected, and it is actively working with an incident response firm to restore its systems as soon as possible. And they are not aware of any evidence at this time that any customer, supplier, or employee data has been compromised or misused as a result of the situation. Resolution of the incident will take time, which may delay certain transactions with customers and suppliers. So I believe this is when they were saying that their systems were down. I wasn't aware of this at the time because I was drinking lots of whiskey and eating lots of bison steak, trying to enjoy myself. But then this may be all taken away. We see on June 1st, so today, JBS USA and Pilgrims announced significant progress in restoring the cyber attack that has impacted the company's operations in North America and Australia. Operations in Mexico and the UK were not impacted and are conducting business as normal. Okay, that's good for them. JBS USA and Pilgrim are a critical part of the food supply chain, and we recognize our responsibility to our team members, producers, and consumers to resume operations as soon as possible. And this is coming from their CEO, I guess for the USA branch, because I think JBS is like headquartered in Brazil. Andre N. Not sure about that last one. Not even going to try it. So our systems are coming back online, and we are not sparing any resources to fight this threat. We have cybersecurity plans in place to address these types of issues, and we are successfully executing those plans. Given the progress our IT professionals and plant teams have made in the last 24 hours, the vast majority of our beef, pork, poultry, and prepared food plants will be operational tomorrow. In the USA today, JBS USA and Pilgrims were able to ship product from nearly all of its facilities to supply customers. This company also continues to make progress in resuming plant operations in the US and Australia. Several of the company's pork, poultry, and prepared food plants were operational today, and its Canada beef facility resumed production. JBS USA has received strong support from the US, Australian, and Canadian governments, conducting daily calls with officials in an effort to safeguard the food supply. I want to personally thank the White House, the U.S. FBI, Department of Agriculture. Yeah, so they got some alphabet boys involved in it to help it out. Big deal. And the Australian, Canadian governments, yeah, international effort. The company is not aware of any evidence at this time. Okay, so again, apparently their systems have not been breached, or they're not aware of company data being breached, because they're doing the double extortion technique now. Well, they were doing it before, but they throw the ransomware on your system, so that's kind of extortion part 1, right? Give us this money, or else your systems are shut down. But then the companies will say, aha, but I have backups. I'll just restore from backup instead of paying you. So now they're starting to try to capture some of that data, and then they'll sell it on the dark web or whatever as that second defense in case the company says they won't pay. So let's take a look at the last press release. So this is from yesterday, and they're saying that JBS USA and Pilgrims announced that they are now scheduled to resume production at all of their facilities on Thursday. So that's today. The company's rapid recovery from the cyber attack continued today, providing further assurance to more than 100,000 JBS USA and Pilgrims team members, livestock and poultry producer partners, customers, and consumers. JBS USA and Pilgrims continue to make significant progress in restoring our IT systems and returning to business as usual, said their CEO. Today, the vast majority of our facilities resumed operations as we forecasted yesterday, including all of the pork, poultry, and prepared foods facilities around the world, and the majority of our beef facilities in the US and Australia. And again, the company is not aware of any evidence at this time that any customer, supplier, or employee data have been compromised. This is probably going to take a while longer for them to know that for sure, because, they are getting the systems cleaned up. It sounds like they're pretty much done with that. So now they have to sort of go into the, lessons learned and sort of figure out what went wrong and how they can patch it. And during that forensic analysis is probably when they'll figure out whether or not supplier, customer, or employee data was compromised. Given the progress our teams have made to address this situation, we anticipate operation at close to full capacity across the global operations tomorrow. So I looked into this hack a bit more, and it was apparently conducted by a Russian-speaking gang named REvil, who offer ransomware as a service. So this is another thing that we're starting to see more and more. Like, if you spend any time on the deep web, you've probably seen plenty of sites like this one, which basically have links to all of these different ransomware groups. And here they tell you whether they're using a V3 link or an Onion V2 link. And by the way, just a side note, you should be using V3 for the best anonymity possible. So this is their link right here. I won't actually open up their website because there are previews of some customer data that they've stolen that they have for sale there. But luckily, there's nothing from JBS on there so far. Now, there are still a couple of things that I'd be interested to know. One is, did JBS actually open back up? Because today is Thursday and the workday is actually over here on the East Coast. Because here in America, we have several holidays coming up that kind of revolve around gluttonous meat consumption, which is honestly what makes me think that this attack was more against America than anything. Like, I know that this is international and other countries are affected, but these next 2 months are when we Americans celebrate all of our gluttonous holidays. We just had Memorial Day and Cinco de Mayo, which I'm going to count as an American holiday because you eat a bunch of food on that day. Plus, look at our demographics. Then we have Father's Day, Juneteenth, and Independence Day. So yeah, if somebody were to start attacking the illegal fireworks supply chain, then I think it's pretty safe to say that this is an act of terror. The other thing that I'd be interested to know is, did JBS actually pay the ransom? So we know that Colonial did. Well, allegedly. There's still some fishy stuff about that story that I need to look into, but you know what they always say. Don't pay the ransom, because that's just going to encourage more of this kind of stuff. And to any black hat Russian hackers that may be watching this video, this is not what we were talking about when we asked for a cute Russian hacker girlfriend to touch our meat. This isn't even close to what was asked for. Gluttony is an American pastime. It's as American as apple pie and endless wars that cost trillions of dollars. And that's exactly what you're going to get if you mess with the fatties. They are a demographic that is easily satiated, yet easily annoyed. So you better hope that every trailer park across this great nation has affordable $1 burger patties to grill, because if our store prices start looking like the leaf people to the north of us, you can expect millions of Walmart brand motorized scooters to be driving towards Moscow before the end of the month. And these obese Americans, they aren't like those Germans that you fought so many years ago. Their blubber will insulate them from your Russian winters. And when the fatties are done, the Kremlin will be covered in more Cheeto dust than an unemployed neckbeard's Xbox controller. So unless you want Mother Russia to become one big Walmart food court, I suggest you leave the food alone.